Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whenever and wherever you're listening to this podcast, you are very welcome. Welcome to Rugby News, the podcast about our town, our people. We'll kick off, as we like to do, with a roundup of local news. That's news local to rugby, with the help of the excellent local newspapers, the Rugby Observer and the Rugby Advertiser. In this week's show, podcast number 5, I'll share with you the local news from around Rugby Town, including why you should be thinking very carefully before buying anyone an e-scooter, Christmas cards, how much to post them and by when, and local Mite and Hospice reaction to the progress of the assisted dying bill. And then, in my weekly out and about spot, I found myself last Friday at the private view of a new exhibition at the Rugby Art Gallery and Museum. Hear my report on that a little bit later on. Okay, so without further ado, here's our news. E-scooters, some would say the scourge of our pavements. Well, an alarming increase in pupils travelling to and from school by e-scooter has prompted Warwickshire Road Safety Partnership to urge parents not to buy e-scooters as presents this Christmas. E-scooters are classified as motor vehicles under the Road Traffic Act 1988, which means the rules that apply to motor vehicles also apply to e-scooters, including the need to have a licence and insurance. However, it's not currently possible to insure privately owned e-scooters, meaning it's illegal to use them on the road or any public spaces such as parks, recreational grounds and town centres in the UK. Yet, remarkably, the sales of e-scooters to private buyers has increased dramatically across the country. For anyone caught using a privately owned e-scooter in a public space in Warwickshire, there are serious implications. The current penalty for riding an e-scooter on the road or in any public space is 6 points on a driving licence and a £300 fine. And if the rider is too young to hold a licence at the time of the offence, then the points can be added to their licence later when they apply for one, which will mean they are instantly disqualified when they apply for the licence. And the e-scooter is also at risk of being seized. If involved in a collision while riding an e-scooter and serious harm to another individual is caused, this incident will be investigated in the same way as if riding a motorbike or driving a vehicle. Serious stuff, people. No e-scooters for Christmas. Christmas cards. Yes, I said Christmas cards. And when are the last posting dates, I hear you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. Royal Mail are promising these dates. Second class and second class signed for Wednesday, 18th December. First class and first class signed for Friday, 20th December. Special delivery guaranteed Monday, 23rd December. Tracked 24, Saturday, 21st December. And Tracked 48, Friday, 20th December. Normal size Christmas cards go second class for 85p and £2.55 if you want it signed for. Normal sized first class go for £1.65 and signed for £3.35. And if you only use the Royal Mail at Christmas, be sure and use the modern stamps, the ones with barcodes on them. Ho, 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 hope you get all your cards done in time. And ho, 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 hope Royal Mail deliver on their promises. See what I did there? It's about time, is the verdict the Mite and Hospices in Coventry and Warwickshire have said, following MPs voting in favour of the legislation of assisted dying in England and Wales. They point out that, and I quote their recent statement, assisted dying is not the only option to preventing people dying in pain. Hospices across the UK have been helping terminally ill patients to control their pain and provide excellent end-of-life care for decades. But despite several governments and prime ministers appearing to recognise the value of hospice care, there has been a woeful lack of response to what has now become a crisis. Across the UK, hospices have empty beds and are reducing at-home services because of a lack of funding, and quite frankly, mightn't think this is totally unacceptable, not to say unethical. Hospices must receive more funding, and quickly. Every day there is a delay means more people will die in pain, which could be controlled with the right care. Good palliative and end-of-life care should not be a lottery. Everyone should be able to access it. Hospices are best placed to do this and are ready and waiting as soon as funding becomes available. Mightn't hospices, to fund their operation, need around £13 million a year, all of which has to be raised through grants and voluntary donations, and not straight from government. The bill has brought up a lot to think about and get right as it makes its way through the parliamentary process. Our cherished local charity, Hope4, was mentioned in Parliament this week when John Slinger, Rugby's new Labour MP, celebrated their huge achievements in relentlessly working to relieve the plight of the homeless and hungry in our town. He highlighted the fact that they have been recognised at the highest level with the award of the KAVS, the King's Award for Voluntary Service, the most prestigious national recognition for volunteer groups. Speaking in Parliament, Mr. Slinger said, "I have seen on numerous visits the incredible work that Hope4 does to end homelessness and poverty in Rugby through its Hope Centre and the Rugby Food Bank." Well, everyone in the town ought to be proud of this extraordinary organisation. And there's more to this story, I thought. So I went to visit the Hope Centre at the top of the Newbold Road, pretty much the direct neighbours of the Ben Hall, and managed to record an interview with the centre manager, A.D. Robinson, and the chair of the Hope4 trustees, Diana Mansell. They shared some fascinating insights into the complex pressures and forces at work that have to be understood so as to then effectively offer real help and hope to those caught up in the worst of it. Listen next week to my interview with Adi and Diana as I find out about what they do, how they go about it, what they hope to achieve, and how you can help them. But before we move on, with Christmas almost on us, there are several ways that you can help Hope4 do what they do so brilliantly. Firstly, the food banks. There are actually 3 of them in town who last year were needing to give out an average of 2 tons of food per week. Yes, 2 tons of food per week, people. And of course, Christmas puts the pressure on us all, especially those who have none to start with. You can donate food to them directly. And here's where. There are 6 co-op stores around town: Asda, Lloyds Bank, Sainsbury's Local and Superstore, Tesco Express and Superstore, and several of our lovely churches. The full list is on their website. And what do they want? Well, it's stuff that has a decent shelf life, not perishables. And again, their website has an up-to-date list of the sort of food that they are currently short of. And this week, I see they need tinned veg, tinned meat, tinned custard, good strong carrier bags, and they're running low on tinned rice pudding, cuppa soup, and washing up liquid. You can also donate on the website money for their expenses and overheads. Anyway, enough for now. Listen next week to the interview and you'll appreciate what a splendid part of our town's fabric they really are. Talented contemporary artists who've created pieces of art ranging from textiles and ceramics to paintings, prints and photographs are showcasing their work at the Rugby Open 24. It's a new exhibition at Rugby Art Gallery and Museum. Artists from Warwickshire, Leicestershire, Northamptonshire and Coventry were invited to submit pieces for the exhibition, with a panel of judges selecting works to go on display. Katie Boyce from Rugby Art Gallery said, "We've received a record number of submissions for both the Rugby Open 24 and Rugby Youth Open 24, so the judges have faced a tough task to select the pieces for the exhibition, let alone decide the winners in the 13 different categories." The Rugby Open goes from strength to strength, she said, and the judges were extremely impressed by the quality of the year's submissions. With just over 300 pieces selected for the exhibition, it's a real spectacle and a celebration of the artistic talent we have in the borough and beyond. Well, Rugby Open 24 runs at Rugby Art Gallery and Museum until Thursday, February the 20th. And visitors are invited to cast a vote for the People's Choice Award, with the winning artist receiving a £250 prize. Voting for the People's Choice Award closes on Wednesday, January the 15th. I went along to the private view last Friday at the Art Gallery and Museum, and I recorded an interview with Katie Boyce and others. You can hear that a little bit later on. The Rugby's Got Talent star Thea Watson, who performed on stage at the town's Christmas light switch-on, has released a single in time for Christmas, and she's performing it locally soon too. The song is called It's Christmas Baby, and she said it's been well received so far. Thea said, "I wrote the song, It's Christmas Baby, with Greg Coulson and Daniel Ballon. It was long days in the studio, but so much fun." Thea is now looking forward to performing her set, which went down so well at the Rugby Light Switch-On at Inside the 22 on December the 21st at 9:30. The single, It's Christmas Baby, is available to stream on Apple and Spotify. And to find out more about the gig, visit InsideThe22.com. A mum from Dunchurch has quit her day job and opened a new business in Rugby. Savvy Humphreys started practicing yoga when she was a teenager, saying it made me feel calm and less anxious. Well, in 2018, I quit my full-time job, she said, as a manager, and travelled to Bali for a month to complete my 200-hour yoga teacher training. And now, Savvy has opened her own yoga studio and holistic treatment space in Southam Road, Dunchurch. And she calls it Florrie, after her little girl. Maternal mental health is at the centre of everything her business has to offer, with the intention to support and nurture women during all stages of motherhood. Savvy said, "Since becoming a mum, I've struggled with postnatal anxiety and depression, and it's been my yoga and meditation practice that has held me together over and over again." She said, "We offer a variety of yoga classes for all levels, including pregnancy and postnatal, as well as Reiki healing and mother and baby circles. I am so excited to open this beautiful space and help women, especially mothers, refill their cup and feel supported." Check it out online. Visit Florrie Holistics, Florrie Holistics, Holistics, all one word, .co.uk. That was the week of local Rugby Town news, and I'm indebted to the excellent local newspapers, the Rugby Observer and the Rugby Advertiser, for all their help. For more detail and for more stories as they happen, go to their websites or follow them on their Facebook pages. You are listening to Rugby News Podcast, where I, Simon, draw together all the biggest stories from the last week from Rugby Town and all around, so you can hear them at your convenience, for free, every Friday, and with no distracting ads, all in about 20 minutes or so. You can listen while you're walking the dog, driving to work, or finishing off the ironing. And if you like what you hear, give it a like, follow me or subscribe on your usual podcast station, and tell your friends. Spread the word. Thanks. Now, every week in the Rugby News Podcast, I take my trusty mic and I visit interesting places and chat with interesting people from around our town. People who are making a difference, adding to the uniqueness of this extraordinary place. Well, this week, I went along to the Rugby Art Gallery and Museum to the private view of their new exhibition, the Rugby Open 24. Hello, Simon here. It's the 29th of November 2024 and I've popped along to the private view of the recently opened exhibition at the Rugby Art Gallery and Museum, the Rugby Open, which itself is open until February the 20th. This is the private view, and in the welcoming speech from Tom Kittendorf, Rugby Borough Council Chief Officer for Leisure and Wellbeing, he's helping us to appreciate what a significant event this is in the local art world.
But this year, we had 557 pieces of art submitted for today, of which you can see 306 pieces that have been curated so marvellously across the space. That goes to 170 artists that are represented. So before I go too far, could we just have a massive group round of applause here?
Well, among the couple of hundred or so people at the event, I managed to find and record a few words from Katie Boyce, the event organiser.
I'm the Senior Exhibitions and Programming Officer for the Art Gallery Museum. There's 306 artworks, ranging from paintings to photography, printmaking, ceramics, glass, fluorescent lights, you name it, we've got it. And it's really difficult, but we try our best to put a piece of work next to another piece of work that makes each other speak to one another and have a bit of a conversation next to one another.
Well, it's quite clear that she's attracted a tremendous range of high-quality work here, and she's expecting a lot of interest from the public. So with this building reaching its 25th anniversary next year, the Rugby Art Gallery and Museum can be seen as quite a success. I wondered what she put her success down to.
I think we include the community quite widely. We ask for their opinion on exhibitions. I think our exhibitions are really engaging and it's what people want to see. We put on some really cracking events for the young people and old people, those with learning difficulties and dementia. So we're trying to cover a wide range of the community, and I think community is at the heart of everything we do. So we try to look at what people are enjoying in their spare time and try to put on exhibitions that sort of allow for them to spend some time here and actually either appreciate art or just take some time out of their busy schedules and just come and just enjoy art for art's sake.
I congratulated her and I went off to find Simon Ward, this year's Mayor of Rugby, replete with chain of office, and asked his opinion on the event.
So it's been fantastic. It's been a record year this year, and I was a judge for the youth entrance myself, which is part of my mayoral theme of youth. And we had over 80 entrants for that, and I chose my overall winner. But we had some great entrants, and it's great to see such talent within the borough, and not just in rugby as well. We did reach out to some of the neighbouring, like Northampton and I believe Coventry and bits of Leicestershire as well.
I pointed out that Katie had earlier on said that community and cooperation are the keys of success to both the Art Gallery and Museum over the last 25 years and tonight.
Yeah, no, definitely. It is about everybody working together. It's all about that partnership working.
And events like these where people meet other people and connections are made and new ideas are born.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And I've spoken to a number of artists this evening who obviously they've been doing their works for many years and they're saying all the time they're learning different things as well from each other,
That's the great thing about art, isn't it? You never arrive, you're always searching and learning and developing.
Yeah, exactly. A lady I was talking to earlier was saying she's now retired, and she said she met a 13-year-old the other day who was teaching her new things as well. So it is that literally bouncing ideas off each other.
Prizes are sponsored by local organisations keen to promote the creative achievements within the local community, including Rugby and District Arts Society, Anna Lorimer Framing, the Ben Hall, Art at the Alex, Coombe Abbey and the Macready Theatre. I managed to speak to another sponsor, Jeanette George from the Warwickshire Open Studios.
We represent artists of all stages in their creative journey, but we're increasingly trying to help along artists at the very start of their creative journey to give them opportunities to get involved. So tonight I'm here to present an award to an emerging artist.
Can you describe the work and why it is that it caught your eye?
Yeah, so what we're looking for is an artist that's not taken part in Warwickshire Open Studios before, and there were a number of pieces that really caught my eye. A lot of them have also won awards from other people, but the work from Alina was, they're both figurative pieces, so they just were very dramatic and very energetic.
So, as well as Alina winning her prize for her piece Anxiety, there were 12 other prize winners too. But there are 14 prizes, and the last one is the People's Prize. So, on the basis of what I've seen, I would encourage you to get down to the Rugby Art Gallery and Museum before February the 20th, when this exhibition closes, to cast your vote in the People's Prize. You have a gander at the 306 works on display, and you decide which is your favourite, and eventually the People's Prize will be awarded. I'm thinking there might be a Rugby News Prize. I'm going to go and have a look and see which one I'd select. I've been Simon at the opening of the Rugby Open, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye. Okay, we've pretty much reached the end of this podcast, and thank you so much for staying with it. I'm aiming to publish a new one once a week, out on Thursday or Friday, ready for the weekend. Over time, I'm thinking it would be interesting to add an entertainment guide, sort of what's on in and around the town in the next fortnight. Would that be interesting? And also, I want to bring to a wider audience some of the hidden histories of this extraordinary town that are truly amazing, showing how Rugby Town has influenced and changed the world. I hope you liked what you heard, found it useful, and you want more. And if you did, thank you. Please like it. Please subscribe. And if you have ideas about how it can be better, where it could be improved, do let me know in the comments. Or you could email me, simon.rugby.news@gmail.com. Okay, thanks again for listening. Catch up with you next week. Goodbye.